Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Here we are, the Shanghai qualifying is now underway. Mature Russell is prepping himself to get out, but first we got to do a knee tap over in the spray, which we can see we got Lando Norris on the pole, such an Adriatic third, Leclerc, Behrman in fourth, while Russell in fifth, and Alex Albon had unfortunately had the bad performance in the qualifier, which is Steve put himself down into P14 at the Piastri in P12. So it's a bit of a muscle one for Albon and Piastri, actually quite kind of schedule leadership. Quali will that translate into the main qualifier? We'll find out as we are watching the sprint. Like we got at the end of tour had taken the lead of the Shanghai sprint. While Russell on the outside of Ollie Behrman to try to get himself around, to get himself up into P4. And I can also tell you Russell have been sliding a little bit around Shanghai. He needs to get the tire warmed up. Then he finally starts making a problem. I think it's a common theme. Our tires do slaughter early on, and yeah, some of the live were on a stop tire that had also played into the role. But it's taken Russell 9 laps to finally chase down Charles Leclerc, been trying to overtake, and in the final lap, Russell finally started making a fight again to Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris, of course, taking the lead of the Shanghai qualifier, which of course put at the end down in fourth, Charles now in third, and Russell come down in second place. Bit of a slap on the exit, which is unfortunate one, which is something we need to keep an eye out on as we are going into qualifying net, and the same at the main. Like, we want to make sure we don't slaughter too much on the exit, which is also another thing. We have to slaughter a lot on the track. We have to side by side fight with Charles Leclerc, and the majority of the lap 10 has been all out brawn. Again, Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Charles Leclerc, little contact to George Russell, but Russell does not give up that easy. That he's taken the second place and lands another taking third place, which means a win in the sprint. And in 2-1 shot exit of Carlos Sainz, that is now back-to-back exit in 2-1 from Australia, and the Chinese Grand Prix, not a good look. And in 2-2, Alex Albon had unfortunately got himself out, so it seems like he might be able to make 100% of a podium, so basically 2 for 2. That is what I was hoping for Alex Albon, but unfortunately he's out in 2-2, put himself into 12th place. And now Russell put on a fantastic work in the qualifier in 2-1. He was very close in 2-1, that's for sure. In 2-2, he was all right, but now in 2-3, we got a brilliant purple sector 1, but in sector 2, well, we all slaughter the most. The car slaughter a lot in sector 2 for whatever reason, but on the exit, we crossed the line, we only go 7th, and we quickly tried to get back out. We left it too late. We went off the track and got to see the track limit, and we were too late either way. And unfortunately, we did not manage to make it across the line in time, and getting no warning and shot pole position. Francois Qualipito, for the third time in his career, he had taken the pole 7 times clear of Lando Norris, who's in second, using Tonona in third. I am impressed of Francois Qualipito, but what will happen in the Chinese Grand Prix?
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Franco Colapinto lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Tsunoda, Piastri, Pierre Gasly and Leclerc, Russell, Antonelli, Hadjar and Esteban Ocon, Behrman, Albon, Gabriel Bortoleto and Tramnitz, Doohan, Hulkenberg, Carlos Sainz and Paul Aron, Crawford, Pepe Marti, Maloney and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was around 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Okay, mate, radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Here we are getting ready for the Chinese Grand Prix, getting ready to go underway. We are doing one stop, 100%, and we have the suited fuel shutting a little bit, not too much, in hope that we will be okay getting to the end and we start in 7th place. I can imagine we're going to work very, very hard to get the. We have Charles Leclerc in the 6th place with Gasly, we have Piastri, we have Lando, we have UT, Franco Colapinto, probably be a lot easier to get the right thing, but don't count him out. If he can manage to get him start on pole, 7 tons clear, I can imagine Franco might be able to do okay on the start, but the issue with Franco is actually on a hard tyre, so it's going to be a difficult one for him to get up a brilliant start. We'll find out as we are now lined up to the light, waiting for the light to be able to go out. I'm not sure Chuck needs to top of the podium, take the lead in the Driver Championship, and it's now light down, and away we go. Lands another, looks like had to up a good start, putting himself ahead of Colapinto with Newton Tsunoda, still remain in 3rd place, and George Russell is just trying to get himself up. Replated. He made up 2 places so far, but can he get you on the Piat? It looks like he just did. George Russell, a fantastic start from P7 up into 4th place. That 3-place improvement immediately, and that is exactly what I like. This team has got Hadjar, fighting on a Behrman, we've got Bortoleto in P12. Albon did not get off a good start, did not back into P13. So now got side by side of Hadjar, 30 on a Behrman. It's the GP, a clean fight, or will Behrman get himself back ahead and get himself up into P10, and we've got Bortoleto fighting again, his former up-team rival year to go in 2024, and it looks like Bortoleto staying behind of either Hadjar, which is pretty positive one for Hadjar. Looking at his teammate Franco Colapinto, who's in the 2nd place, there's a big differences from Franco to either Hadjar. I'm impressed by that big differences, and with Jordan Russell, who now be overtaken by the Piastri, and Newton Tsunoda is putting up a fight against Colapinto and Lando Norris. still rally on the lead. Torpedo not back and looks like they'll be side by side out the final corner. Russell goes to Sean Russell had made up a play, taking advantage of the fight, putting himself tight line and jerked and looks like he locked the play. So Torpedo and about to move the play to off the Piat. No, but a contact being a bumped laughing all the way down here out into turn by can Russell jerk you on Torpedo or not. Seems like you to be stuck behind once again and like the Piat is on the inside and looks like it's just John Lee, but Russell a fantastic actor to himself a slingshot and wow and jerk back ahead of the Piat to himself up into third place. So let's talk about it a little bit. So that star, I've talked on 40 for Torpedo, and I've talked we taking advantage of the fight that was going on with Torpedo and using Tanona in that time last lap, and Russell taking advantage on the final corner and completing overtake that with a very well spotted move from George Russell and try to play about that with a tour put back using Tanona down into fifth. And we got Alec Dalbon, who's been in the fight with Arthur Had Job, put up into 12th. And we got George Russell going deep on the exit of the turn 1 into turn 2 now. Russell still managed to get himself back on Torpedo and get ahead and taken the shutdown play. Fantastic work from Russell, and Torpedo is not giving up. He's on the outside line. Russell defended a bit of a wobble on the braking, but he still held it and he stayed ahead of Torpedo. Shutdown play is now on the table, already achieved really, and the third place is on the table, but the more fight we're going to put up against the car behind, it's going to be quite a difficult one, but the beauty of the hard tire, it takes a while to warm up, and we can see have put up a fight now with the Piat on the inside of Franco Torpedo coming out the right hairpin, and it looks like the Piat now up in the third place, and Franco has knocked back into fourth. That hard tire does not do him a favour at all, but with far forward to the Dialect on the long slow the Piat now caught up to Russell and overtaken for the second place, and Russell greatly get himself ahead of the Piat, and there's still five going on behind with Torpedo and Eugene Tanona. Eugene on the inside, can get yes he does. Eugene Tanona has taken the fourth place now, and Franco to start lopping back at Gatling has now made another move on Torpedo. Gatling of Tor took himself on forcing start, which have taught the higher play not back, but now he's going to try to get on Franco and take the fight against Eugene Tanona. We can imagine that UT will always have a pretty good fight, but right now in lap 6, the other down Russell wanted to be overtaken by the Piat. Russell to the break lane, try to get you on the inside with a very tight, but Russell for some reason takes a way too tight line, and it lost a bit of a time, and the Piat put himself back on short Russell, and that had invited Eugene Tanona to come along now, and George Russell needed to do something about it, just try to send it, but he backed down, and that would give Eugene Tanona a bit of an opportunity, but he doesn't. Russell just dive down inside, and he didn't get through around the outside of the Piat. It seems like he might be able to get it done. Yes, he does. Russell back in the second place the Piat is not letting up on the outside. Eugene Tanona just coming through around the outside. Both of these drivers, but Russell fended off Eugene Tanona, but lost the play to the Piat. But now far forward to lap 8, the fight still continue. The Piat remain ahead. Sure, Russell to try to do something different this time around at the goes around the outside line into the inside line, getting the advantage, and he goes to a clear overtime. And Eugene Tanona need to come on the Piat, or the Piat can defend it. Looks like he might be able to for a moment to just send it inside like he did in Australia, but he didn't do anything about it, and Russell now in the second place but look at Lando Norris, 8 Sutton. 8 Sutton. That whole fight has been a favour for Lando Norris. 9 Sutton now in lap 9. The other down Piat back to her. You can know to the time on the inside of George Russell. You try and keep him behind. It's our main priority is stay on the podium. We know that Lando is on a run away. As it's been confirmed, he is pulling away from us. So like I say, Sutton plate is on the table, and of course McLaren is weighing a lot quicker than us to try and keep that Sutton off there. But George Russell on the inside of the Piat goes the big time much more clearer. He spaced out the gap already from that move. And now Sutton playing for George Russell the Piat in third. Using Tanona in fourth, with that in fifth, Charles Leclerc in sixth, and Torpedo lobbed back into seventh place. Unfortunately, at the other 8th, Ultra 9th, Bortonetto is holding to that large remaining point. Peter Behrman, another, and Alex Dalbon, unfortunately, nowhere near the podium spot. I was hoping Albon would be able to repeat the same performances he had lots earlier, but it seems like he lost that momentum immediately as we headed to Shanghai. Maybe it's the car performance problem, because George Russell is not trying, there's no pace to pull away from the Piat. So I can imagine this is our pure speed that we only be able to maximise our car performances, unfortunately, and the Piat is now back onto second place. But George Russell do not give up at all, because he has put in so much fight and he's dipped back ahead of the back. Now Octon is putting a fight with Gabby Bortonetto, because Bortonetto has joined the P9 and Octon locked back into P10, and the Piat is back on the inside of George Russell, but Russell defended the spot once again, getting back but the time is starting to gap in away from Lando Norris. At some point, it's going to become 20 seconds very soon. But in lap 12, we can see Charles Leclerc coming through now on the outside of Pierre Gasly, and there's the fight going on ahead of Charles Leclerc with Russell and the Piat. But the hard tyre is now turned on, because Charles Leclerc is going to start catching up and going to put in a fight for the podium potentially. The Piat, obviously not the place on Russell, and is still putting more fight in lap 13. Russell not giving up whatsoever, and I'm happy to see that. But behind her, got Alex Albon, who just overtaken Ollie Behrman. So Albon finally caught up and get the move done on Behrman. But P11 is no joke. We want to be in points for Alex Albon, but of course, the Construction Championship, we need both drivers to be in a podium 10 years low. That's the only way to win the Construction Championship, where you have McLaren, who very much one of the stronger teams last season as well as this season. So we have to find out what might happen for this day, as we of course still progressing. This is the lap that we need to bot as well. Let's not forget that. The Lando Norris, 11 seconds, yep, the gap is starting going away, and there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. And George Russell, 7 seconds, but George the Piat is going to start attacking very soon once again, and Charles Leclerc is now coming through on Newton Tanona and an EDPD overtake for Charles Leclerc, and now his eyes are stuck on those two drivers ahead. Newton Tanona not letting up. Looks like Newton Tanona is going to cause the problem, and he just got that exit that he needed, and he's getting up ahead of Charles Leclerc, and we got Russell and the Piat now coming into the pit to put a new tyre on, which will be the hard tyre. Lando stay down, Charles Leclerc stay down, Newton stay down, the Piat, and we got Gasly. Yeah, we want their stop. It seems like it's a fairly normal pit stop for them, and will we get the good stop from Russell? Yes, we do. Not like Australia, but it's taken ages, and Russell had to fight so much to get back into the winning position in Australia. only to be snatched away from Alex Albon toward Albon, claim his first victory in a Formula 1 in a career. Large Apatow, and of course Russell was happy, but we know Russell would like to win because he wanted to stamp the mark for his hand for the championship. But of course the pit stop went smooth, and that is good news. But is that enough to catch Lando? Very, very unlikely. We got Tim Chapman, who is literally in P10. I think Tim has done a better job, but Russell needed to get really quickly to get hold up too much. Oh, bit of a slide in there, but oh, another one. There's a 3 slide for Tim Chapman. 3 slides here, and George Russell managed to get away from those 3 slides, and they get back there into P10, and that will lead Tim to handle up the Piazza. I will assume to be easy overtake, but still, that would give Russell a bit of a gap to try to pull away, and that's a slow stop. Seems like it's a slow stop, but Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc now in the lead with Peter up into second place. With at the other stage that was, well, Lando pretty much on the ground right now, I believe so. Alex Albon is coming in along with Ocon staying at Newton Tonona, so Lando Norris had a slow stop. But I don't think Russell is that close enough, because unfortunately we've been held up by Tim Chapman when he made those 3 very uncomfortable sliders, but he can actually spin out and crash into Russell. We would be like the bar Sanders his whole thing, but Russell anticipated that and tried to leave some space in case that thing happened, and looks like we were okay, but it's a bit of difficult work to try to attack. We got Jack G1 ahead of us, which we need to try to get the fast as we can in lap 16, which it needed. Believe of throw, but it lands on Norris right now, approximately 7 seconds ahead of Jack G1, about 7.5 seconds ahead of George Russell. We get the fast as we can, and we can see Russell is now making a move on the inside. Fantastic overtake for sure. Russell with the overtake, a common play, I don't know, but the traction on our car with our tyre is a bit hard to be able to slip by and get up into P4, and that's of course with a bit hard because we do not want to get hold of, because that could be favourable for Peter, or at the alley if a safety car comes down, we've been lucky. Be basically in the 4th place. We don't want that, do we? We want to try make sure we stay ahead of Jack Dillon and start catching up, and we got up to Piazza, who is now on the inside of Jack Dillon, and it seems like Jack Dillon putting a bit of a fight, but up to Piazza and Jack Dillon is holding back. Definitely will not be happy about that, and it seems like Dillon has just boxed it. Yes, he did. Definitely has got back in for up the Piazza, and I think the fight is a star coming up very soon between Russell, Piazza, definitely, and maybe Newton Tonona, but Newton is about 3 seconds behind, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But in lap 19, we shut in everything in our car. Seems like everything is running quite smoothly. Very happy about that. And we got Bortonacto, who's in P7, who got Charles Leclerc, who's looking to fight with Newton Tonona at yellow. It now be overtaken Bortonacto, and on the inside for at the yellow, can they get you, or will Bortonacto make the hard? Seems like Bortonacto chose to make the hard, and we've got Alex Albon, who now joined up into P10 at Carlos side, had just botched it. Didn't Carlos side already bought? I have no idea, I'm not aware. The Carlos side situation seems like there might be a problem or something with the tyre, I have no idea. But at the other, in P7 now ahead of Bortonacto and Albon is now in P10, so in point for Alex Albon, and now we've got Charles Leclerc is now just overtaken Newton Tonona. The medium tyre is now on for Charles Leclerc, and for anyone who runs the medium tyre now will be starting getting the tyre to work to shade out all of the hard tyre that is ahead of them. And Bortonacto now behind Fanto Peter, I believe so. And then lap 22, we're still doing that very well. Piazza is nowhere near, and it seems like the hard tyre, it's like the but tire shooter to the car, and I'm very glad about that. But Gatling, it now does become Charles Leclerc next victim, because Charles Leclerc on the inside is gonna make a move on Pierre Gasly, telling Gasly on Pierre Gasly get the exit that he needed. And we got Bortonetto and Albon putting the fight all with a squeezing from Bortonetto. Managed to stay ahead of Alex Albon, but Albon should just try for space and just absolutely sent you on the inside or the outside. We did both ways. Not sure done it twice against the Piat. It worked out, but Albon on the inside of Gabby Bortonetto, and can Albon certainly on Bortonetto? It seems like he just did fantastic work from Alex Albon. And now in lap 24, we got Pierre Gasly. He's gonna try to defend Charles Leclerc, but Charles Leclerc on the outside, we sometimes do proven to be a good exit line for anyone who goes on the outside, and Charles Leclerc is now nipped an inside and overtaken Gasly, and that is the proof why the outside line is a much better way of overtaking that leads you into the inside line. And Yutin Tsunoda is now putting a fight against Gasly, and it seems like Yuti is going to pick the inside line, because again, inside line going from outside to inside is always the bit advantage for a driver that picked that line, and it worked out because Yuti is now in fifth, Gasly in sixth, at the other in seventh. So they are having an old fight for the fifth place. Charles Leclerc is chasing after Otto Piastri, and we are chasing after Lando, but I don't think that's going to happen. And we've got Gasly just overtaking Yutin Tsunoda. So it seems like this is now the whole theme for this last remaining 3 laps, like going into 3 laps of we need to manage fuel. I'll repeat, manage fuel, manage fuel. Damn it, will we be able to finish? Yeah, but very close. We got a bit of a radio drama. Looks like we do have a bit of a radio drama. The fuel is now becoming an issue. For sure, not sure, the team lowering the fuel too much for George's car. That is going to end badly for Russell. He now needs to live and toast the fuel loan to the end, and that would be a very, very bad for Russell, because the Piastri starting catching up, we're losing time to Lando Norris, and Charles Leclerc is now making a move on the Piastri. You can imagine that it's going to be a lot of hard work for Russell to try to keep them at bay, and Lando Norris has just started the final lap of the Chinese Grand Prix. Lando about living brilliantly all weekend, and he's now going to take back-to-back victory from Spain to the main Grand Prix, and that is of course going to be a big help in the championship. If Russell can remain in second place, we can still be able to take the third place in the championship, but unfortunately Charles Leclerc is starting catching Russell, and that is not going to be a good look for Russell, because the fuel loan is actually now being low. The more we now enter to the low fuel mode very, very soon. The lip and toasting doesn't even work right now for sure, Russell, and now it's a bit of a nervy time. What can Russell do? Can he manage to find some lift and toasting working or not? We are now halfway more in this final lap. Albon is in P9, so Albon has recovered some points. It's in P9, so happy about that. And now another on the straight line, feeling very happy, not dominating, because of course it's 16 seconds, only because Russell had to pull back a whole lot of the time to try to get some fuel going, and it seems like it might not work out in Russell's favour. Charles Leclerc just, oh no, Russell falling out of the order. Yep, Russell done. Lando just won the Shanghai Grand Prix, and Russell is falling out of the order. Oh no, bit of trash. There's the trash with Franco Torpedo getting straight into back of Russell's car. And now that the front wing damage and potential gearbox damage for Russell, and Russell stayed ahead of Torpedo somehow, the fuel is gone, and Torpedo have beaten Russell to the line, and it looked back into P8, and Torpedo never final wind damage, and the team have done a bad job on helping short Russell to manage the fuel on what had happened.
And here he comes. It's all go, go, go for Lando Norris as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
To witness such mastery of these conditions, these changeable conditions that we saw today, is very impressive indeed. So a huge congratulations to this driver for taking victory today.
Well, it's been a long wait for many of our drivers, but the wait is always worth it. Bring them out to the awaiting crowd. It's time for our podium celebrations. He raises the trophy over his head. Lando Norris, head and shoulders above the rest today.
The performance today for sure for Lando and Charles Leclerc to take advantage of the situation we had made ourselves into, which is unfortunate, and put up in third place. And now we look the lead in the championship basically 19 points behind Lando Norris, and McLaren taking the lead in the Construction Championship. But again, in the early season, we will not give up that easily. We learn our lesson. Next time, we'll just make sure we don't lower it too much. But it's the unfortunate ending. But let's see what happened in Chapter 1. So, then if you're watching, please like and just let me feel the do of appreciate it, and peace out.